Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on the tools that I use that I promised I would upload. So, the tools that you should have as an apprentice, especially as a first year apprentice. Last year I worked non-union, that's where I acquired most of these tools, but usually if you're a union apprentice you're given a tool list, which is actually the required tools in the contract for what apprentices and journeymen must bring to the job site at all times. And you're usually only supposed to bring those required tools to the job site because the contractor will not cover stolen tools that were not in that contract. For instance, these won't be covered because they're not in the contract. What else won't be covered? I don't think these will be covered in the contract. But pretty much everything listed here and inside the toolbox is required by the contract. Oh, and this won't be covered by the contract either, my tool pouch. So I'm going to start from right to left about the tools that I use and why I use them. Yeah, so let's begin. First thing I have are the dikes, diagonal cutters. So I have a regular pair of diagonal cutters. This is sort of like the beater pair. And then I just acquired these ones right here, the angled dikes from Klein. They're like 30 bucks. There was a journeyman pair which has more insulated handles, but as long as it has a handle, these things are usually abused. They're used to take staples out of walls, to cut wire, whatever you want to use these for, especially because they're angled. They're very useful. These are usually in my tool pouch at all times, right here. And then up here, I just have my newly acquired knife because I lost my old knife on one of the other job sites. But this one is a Klein knife. It's pretty nice. It's not spring-loaded or anything. You use this to close it, and you open it manually. And it's got a no serrated blade on it, so you can sharpen it easily. But it's also got a stripper function, so you can strip wire with it. So it's multi-tool. I always keep this on me. It's usually in the back of my pants or whatnot. Over here, I have my lock nut tighteners, so this just makes the job go easier. If you're working with commercial metal boxes and you're using a ton of lock nuts, I mean, it's $8. I don't know why you wouldn't get these. I haven't used them yet because I just bought them, but I figured this is going to make the job go much faster rather than taking a flathead and taking my pliers and hitting them until it's tight. This should just make it much easier. I'm going to keep these in my pouch as well when I'm working, just because I'm like that. So another main tool you're going to want to have as an apprentice is a wire stripper. So I have two right here. I have one that can also crimp and cut, and then this one can go up to size 18 and then as low as 10. So, you know, these are very nice to have. This is the Generation 1. These aren't the Generation 2s. I heard the Generation 2s have a better locking button, but, you know, whatever. These work for me. They always have. They strip nicely. You get used to them. They're not Klein's, but they're Milwaukee's just as good, I feel. And then you get to the main tool of the trade, the linesman's pliers. Usually people in the trade just call them linesman's. Depends where you're at. If in my local, they're just like, grab your pair of linesman's and follow me. So these have been busted and abused. Thankfully at Home Depot they have a warranty system where if you know you got a little issue right here, like say you cut something live and it has a hole in it and it welded, they usually cover it. At least that's what happened to me. They gave me a brand new pair when my last pair gave up and was broken. But you can see that they're nice and loose. They're easy to open. You want to make them easy to open. They're going to be your lifeline. This is like an extension of your hand pretty much. You want to get used to them as fast as possible. WD-40 them up and get them as loose as possible. Make it so they can open by just going like that, you know. Next I have my tape measure, my Fat Max. I use this because if I didn't have it, the tape measure, I can actually show you guys right here. This tape measure, for instance, is super small, super crappy. But you see how tiny this radius, or this tape is. It will just break after like 4 feet. You don't want to have something like this. You want to have a Fat Max, and the reason why I prefer the Fat Max is not only does it have a magnetic tip, so it sticks to anything like metal studs in commercial buildings, but you can see how much thicker the tape actually is, which means it won't break as easily as, say, that tape measure in there. But Fat Max, pretty nice. I use it all the time. You got to learn how to use this too, because they're going to be constantly going overhead. What I like about the Milwaukee version is it actually has a little notch right here, and then you can stop it with your finger right there. But what I do, instead of locking it every time, I just put my finger down there, and it usually holds it perfectly. I have a couple tape measures just in case, but like I said, the warranties of Stanley and Fat Max and Klein are usually really nice. I have a ton of levels, as you can see here. They're not the best levels, but they're levels. I have 3 of them. I'm planning on getting a nice metal torpedo one as well soon. But you can see they're magnetic. They stick usually decently. Here we go. That's good for when you're bending pipe. I have my needle nose. This is just a generic pair, Task Force. I got them when I was younger. I keep them with me because it's a nice tool. They can cut. They have a little cutter right there. But these are nice when you need to pull something inside a deep box. I just like to keep them with me. And then I have the second, probably the most important tool if you're working commercial, channel locks. Because if you're working with pipe all the time, you're going to need to tighten couplings and shit. So you want to have 2 pairs. I have a smaller pair and then a bigger pair. And they're Milwaukee's because not only were they cheaper, but they just look nice and they have little reamers on the bottom. I really have no preference. I mean, I know channel lock's a brand, but we just call them channel locks. You can call them pump pliers, whatever you want. What I keep in my bag at all times is this 10-in-1 or 11-in-1, whatever you want to call it. It's got so many functions. Like, it's got 2 square bits, 2 flatheads, nut drivers, the name of it. You don't need to have a shit ton of these sticking out of your tool pouch. You know, you don't need like 3 of these. You don't need this. You have your 9-in-1 to do all the work, and it's pretty nice. It's got a thick handle. It's powerful. You can definitely torque things down with that. I keep this in my bag, this tester in it, just because, you know, I need to know if there's power or not. This isn't going to be a tester to use every day, like to test continuity or anything else, really. All this does is tell you if it's live or not. This thing, reamer, best investment I've ever made. You can ream EMT pipe easily. You don't need to have a file with you. You can keep this in your pouch, like a couple turns, and it's reamed. Very nice. This is one of my prying flatheads. In here, I have a ton of flatheads and screwdrivers, extras, but this is usually my prying one because it's thick. You can get in there. And then if I really need to pry something, I'll use this one, this very long one. Hammer. Always want to have a hammer. Doesn't matter. I heard the fiberglass ones are really nice, but I just like this one too. It's wooden construction. 2 things of tape. Always want to have electrical tape for cuts, for just in case. You always want to have electrical tape. Hacksaw. You don't want to, you know, if someone's using a Sawzall or a cutter and you can't cut any pipe, dude, just take it, lodge the pipe in between your legs, and cut it like this with your hacksaw. Not only will your boss like you more, but you're getting things done, and you're not just sitting around waiting to use an auto tool. You're an apprentice, just use this. That's why it's on your tool list. And you know, you'll eventually, as a journeyman, you might not even need this. You'll have a what's it called, a band saw, or you'll have a Sawzall, but this just works as good. What do you think they did back then? I got a ton of paint pens from the work site. They usually supply these, but they're really nice for marking torque. And then I have a Sharpie as well. I have a black one too. Then I always keep this with me, Ugly's reference. This is whenever I'm bending pipe or I just need something. This always comes in handy, and it's supplied by my Union Hall in the book purchase, so I got that as well. And then my tool pouch. I keep this because you can put shit on it and it won't break. Metal's toolbox holds all my shit. I got a combination wrench set. I have my true testers, which I still haven't used yet as an apprentice, especially a first year, but this comes in handy whenever my journeyman needs it. He doesn't have his. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, I have some Allen key sets down here. I have another hammer. I have a bigger wrench. I have some extension bits over here. Some extension bits for my wrenches. So, I mean, everything comes in handy. But this is what you want to have if you're an apprentice. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. I'll make a follow-up sometime soon because I plan on purchasing a tool every week from here on out. I have been, but since I've been laid off, I haven't been able to. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.